Hey everyone, it's Jose and I'm back for another video. I was about to say reaction video. It is kind of a reaction, but not really because I've already seen this video. So it's not a reaction, but at the same time it is because I'm going to be talking about it and reacting to it again. I guess it's a re-reaction, I should say. Is that even a word? Anywho, if y'all don't know, well, I mean, you're about to know. I was luckily enough to participate in the 6 BTS fans versus 1 secret hater video for Jubilee. And for Odd Man Out, the series is called Odd Man Out and the channel's name is Jubilee. They did a special episode dedicated to BTS fans. Thank you, by the way, for all of you who have reached out and sent out so much love and sweet and kind messages. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. Like these past 2 days have been amazing. For those of you who don't know, the channel name is Jubilee. For Odd Man Out is basically 7 people, 7 random people, and whatever the topic is. For example, on our episode, it was 7 BTS fans, but 6 of them are fans and 1 of them is not. And the 6 people that are fans have to work together to try and, you know, pick out the person who's being fake, who's being the mole. And if we are able to eliminate them during the rounds before the end, like where everybody's like comfortable with, like, I think we got them out, the amount of people that are left in the game get a cash prize split in between those people. But if the mole wins, if the person who was lying wins, they win the entire cash prize. A lot of you wanted to know, like, how were you able to participate? Like, how were you cast? Well, it's because of you. A lot of you started tagging me, like, when this first, I guess they sent out like casting emails or something like that. I know now they put a link in their description box below. So now I think it's easier. I don't know if it was like that before, but now they put a link in the description box below, a casting link. If you want to participate in any of their videos, there's a link there that you can follow. The way I did this was a lot of you started tagging me and telling me Jubilee's going to be doing a video for BTS fans. Can you please participate and represent for us? And I was like, really? Like, I didn't believe it at first. I was like, maybe like is a troll account or something like that. I had seen like some Odd Man Out. I think at that time there were only 3 out, and I had seen 2 of them, the Beyonce one, and then I saw the meat and like the vegan one, and then there was the Christian one. I believe there was the only 3 that were out when that casting call went out. So now there's 6 episodes. With ours there's 6. But yeah, a lot of you started tagging me and telling me, like, please, can you participate in this? And I even like replied to some of you saying, like, I don't think it's a good idea for me to do it, because myself, I still don't believe I'm like huge on YouTube, because there's a lot of channels that are bigger than mine. But because my channel is a majority of it is BTS, let's be honest, like 90% of it is BTS content related. Like, I was like, I don't think they're gonna want me there, because if people do recognize me, that makes it like not an even playing field. Like, that's what my thought process was. I was like, I don't think it's fair. But a lot of you were like, we don't care. Can you please just submit an application and do it? And you know what? I said, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? They're gonna tell me no. And like, I was already in the mindset of them not even telling me no, like not even reaching out at all. So I filled out the casting sheet, everything. Okay, well then, like, I get like an email. I got it 2 weeks before we shot this. By the way, we shot this a month ago. So 2 weeks before we shot this, I got an email saying, like, hey, I got your application. It was Bonnie, the director for our episode. By the way, this is her. And she reached out and she was like, in the email, she was like, if you're available, please, like, we're aiming towards this date. Like, please get back at me if you're able to. So when I got that email, I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't think y'all were gonna call me back. Well, not call me back, but reach out. And so she asked like what the best available time was for me to like get on the phone and like basically just talk about the what they had planned and like my love for BTS and like why I would want to participate, etc., etc. So that gets like planned out. I get called by Bonnie. She's a director, like I said, and the director for this episode. And yeah, we're just talking about like BTS and like how I got into them and like why I wanted to participate. And she told me that she actually saw my channel. And because of my channel, she was like, I think you would be a great fit. So the idea that I had in my head of like, because of my channel, I'm not gonna get in, it was actually the opposite. She said, because of your channel, I'm really interested in you participate. Like, I was like, wait a minute, that's a total, it did a switch on me. You know what I'm saying? So I was really shocked and I was like, I was down. I was like, yes. Of course, she said she had to talk to more people. It wasn't like a done deal or anything like that, but she was like, I will reach out and let you know if we are set and the time, the date, when we will be shooting, where the location we'll be shooting in, all the details. So the very next day I get the email like confirming like, can you please confirm that like you're available and you're able to shoot? We really want you to participate. So that's how it happened with me, y'all. Because of you, I got in because I didn't know there was a casting call for this. So thanks to you tagging me and letting me know, like, can you please participate, and me actually going on a whim and submitting the application, I got in. Yeah, I was hesitant, like I said, because of my channel thing. I was like, I don't want there to be people that are like thinking that this is unfair. But the good thing is that it was an even playing field. I even shared this on Twitter. None of the participants in this, except for Tae, knew who I was. So once I knew that, like he was the only one that like recognized me. Everybody else was like, hi, my name is so and so, I'm Jose, nice to meet you, everything like that. I was like, yo, this is gonna be good because this is an even playing field. I don't want anybody to feel like I got an advantage on anything. No, you know what I mean? So it was exciting to learn that we were like complete strangers and we're going in this blind and we need to know and find out who the mole is. But now let's just go ahead and get into the actual video. What I'm gonna do, since I've already seen the video, it's not like a genuine like first time reaction. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna watch it together and then I'm gonna pause in certain spots because I wanna be able to like elaborate more on like what happened and what more people said. And also disclaimer, stuff that I can remember. Like I said, this was shot a month ago, so I'm not gonna remember every single detail, but I'm gonna try and give you as much information as I can. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go. By the way, I decided to wear like the same shirt that I wore for the episode. Just, I don't know, I'm weird like that. Anywho, and yes, a lot of people asked me like, was that intentional that you were purple? And I was like, yeah, it was. I was like, let me wear a purple shirt, and I did. But yeah, before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I also have a Patreon page if you're able to support. Please go to the link in the description box below where I have exclusive reactions to Run BTS, Bon Voyage, exclusive live stages, and I'm also going to be reacting to the docu-series Bring the Soul. But for now, let's just get into it. Here we go, press play.
Good humans, welcome to another episode of Odd Man Out.
That's right, for all you K-pop fans out there.
Okay, they were not at the shoot. If they were, I didn't see them. I would have loved to meet them though, but yeah, like I said, they weren't there.
Being grounded, so it's a really nice thing to work with them.
Now enjoy the episode. Please welcome BTS.
I like that they did this intro.
I literally have a tattoo of my bias on my ankle. You're joking. Me.
Ah, it's so weird seeing me again.
I'll take it.
We brought together 7 BTS fans.
I'm a BTS fan.
I am a BTS fan.
I am a BTS fan.
I'm a BTS fan.
I'm a BTS fan.
I am a BTS fan.
Okay, so stopping right there, pausing, because I got a lot of messages, and I saw a lot of messages saying, you are not an ARMY, because an army would have said, I am an army, or a BTS, part of the BTS army. You wouldn't say, I am a BTS fan. Let me stop you right there. They told us to say that. They told us to say, I am a BTS fan. I'm a BTS fan. So there's your answer to that. Trust me. I even told them, can I say I am an army? And they let me do it. They let me record it. But of course they weren't going to use it because it has to be like the same for everybody. But they told us to say, I am a BTS fan. We did not choose that. Okay. So hopefully that reaches out everybody that's like, you're not a fan or an army because you said BTS fan. Nobody says that. They told us to say that, okay? Because that's the name of the episode. 6 BTS fans. So we needed to say BTS fan. Okay.
One is a liar. If the group discovers who the liar is, they'll split a cash prize. If the liar survives, he or she wins the entire prize.
Alright, so I guess we should just go around and talk about how we got into BTS.
The first person to start talking, I was gonna suspect them immediately. Right when the buzzer started, she was like, "Okay, guys."
I thought started just because
I thought the same thing too. I was like, I feel like the person that is the mole is gonna be the one that's gonna want to like take control. Now, I don't want to spoil it. And maybe some of you haven't seen it all, but I also thought that. But luckily, there wasn't any in our episode that like did that. But let's go.
I wanted to see what like the hype of K-pop was, and soon after I bought tickets to their concert. It started in February, and I've been whipped ever since.
So I got into loving BTS in January, and like I was like digging their fashion. Ever since, I'm like so obsessed.
Yeah, they dress great, but I was like, I don't think that's the reason you become a fan. I don't know. I just thought it was weird that he said he's a supporter because of their fashion. Okay, so I even said, because just to let y'all know, like when we're in our solo, like when we're in the chair that you see us like solo, and then you see us with the groups, we did that separately. Obviously you can tell it's separately, but we have to like remember of like what happened throughout the rounds, because we shoot like the rounds all like consecutively, and then one by one we do our like solo interviews. So I was like shocked that I remembered all this information, but I caught on little things. And on this one, I was like, you know what? We need to catch on to like every small detail, because I mean, at the end of the day, we want to get the mole, and even as stuff as simple as that, you know, because I like I said, they cut it out, but I even said, I thought it was weird that like you become a fan because of their fashions. I'm not saying you can't. But I just thought it was a weird reason to. I'm not saying you can't, but I just thought it would be the music first. But again, I said that they didn't include it. But he was like elaborating on that, saying that like he really liked their fashion, and that he saw them on Jimmy Fallon first. I should say his name, Alan. Sorry, Alan. Alan did say that, like he elaborated that a lot, and so that's what I caught on, and one of the reasons why I was like suspecting him, you know. But yeah.
One of my best friends, her dad actually was one of the concert organizers for the Wings tour, and so she was like, hey, I have like extra tickets. And then after that I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to get into them, and it was just like downhill ever since then.
So do you guys like all consider yourselves?
That was one thing I caught on. I was like, downhill, that sounds like a negative way, but I didn't say anything. And then also the extra ticket, I was like, extra tickets for a BTS show, right? Okay, but I let it pass. Here we go.
Fan or army? Because you know there's like a difference. You know what I mean?
I would say I'm army. I'd say I'm borderline.
I'm army.
Because I'm a
Army
newer
all the way.
fan, I would say fan. Like actually, I'm not even like knowing of this big difference until now.
So what do your friends your age think about like you being army?
I mean, most being army, they don't really care.
Do you like openly tell them that you're
yeah.
army?
Yeah.
Well, Tae is a little, older than us, like everybody else who was in the box, and that kind of threw me off at first.
I think it's cool, but even I was like, you're kind of a grown-ass man, you know what I'm saying?
All right, we got it.
Okay. Ooh. Alan is cool. Let me just say that. He was super cool. I talked to him a lot like behind the scenes and stuff. But when I saw this, like, once again, let me tell you, we did this separately. Like solo interviews, we did them separately, and nobody was allowed to watch. So we didn't know what each other said, you know, in our solo interviews. So when I saw this, like the episode, and you know, they started talking about Tae's age, I was shocked. I was like, what? I was like, because when we did the group recording, we didn't like, well, at least I know I didn't, but like the people who worked, like when Trinity asked like about like what his friends think about him being in an army and about his age, that was it. Like she didn't like go ham on that. Like she didn't go crazy on the age thing or anything like that. It was more so on the interviews that they said more about the age. Like Alan said, like, I didn't like that because he did say like, what kind of a grown ass man when, like, to be an army, like, it doesn't matter what age, you know. There's no limits. And so I didn't like that, but like I said, Alan was super cool. I don't know. That kind of was a little bit like, oof, like, I didn't know he thought that way. But like I said, he was super cool with me. And like, I'm not like a spring chicken or anything. Like I'm getting up there in my age too. So that's why I was like, what? And one thing that I didn't like, because we just move on from that. Like we actually don't talk more about that. And a lot of people were like, what did you think, Jose, about that? I actually shared, like, they cut it out. I was like, I even said more of like, I don't care like what age, I'm still gonna be in army, like with years to come, you know? But yeah, like I said, they didn't use a lot of the footage.
I have to try to figure out.
Okay, everyone's biased.
Oh, J-Ho, Jungkook.
I'm double biased. Tae and Hobie.
So my ultimate bias is Jungkook, and then
Hell yeah.
I was bias wrecked by Jimin. Yoongi is coming first.
Ooh, a lot of y'all came for me because y'all were like, you finally admitted that Yoongi's been bias wrecking you. I'm like,
I mean, not really. I would maybe Namjoon only because he's so smart. But like, well, I think he'll be on depth sake. Well, we got 30 seconds, so Laji Molala.
Huh?
All right. I think I just figured something out.
so that, you know, because a lot of, you know what, let me say that once we get more on, but like Tae had a lot like of inside jokes, and we bonded. Me and Tae, we bonded, but I got more to say once we get further on in the video, for those of you who maybe you haven't watched this, but I feel like the majority of you have, but I'll talk about it more later on. But yeah, like that first round, it was we're all nervous. You got to understand, like, random strangers, we have to like start asking each other questions, and for the first time, like trying to get to know each other, but not really get to know each other, but like get to know what we know about BTS. So we just got to start, you know. And the thing is, like, you go in there thinking you have all these questions. Well, at least for me, but I mean, the rest of the cast did let me know that like they were nervous too. So I guess I could speak for them too. We were saying how like we had like prepared questions, but like once you're there, you're like you go blank, and you're like, wait, I thought I was gonna start asking this and this and this. But yeah.
Alan definitely wasn't giving us as much as we wanted.
Trinity, she was like emanating some type of energy.
But big ups to Alan for voting for her right off the bat. And you'll know why if you haven't seen. I think I just gave it away. Oh.
Bye.
Everybody had a little too much info. Easy to slip by as just a casual army. So one of my plans were eliminate the baby armies first.
If everyone feels confident that you've already caught the mole, you can end the game now. But if the majority has doubt, the game will continue. So raise your hand if you
It was too early. We had to continue. Okay, before, because you see round 2 and then 8 minutes. Okay, this video itself is only 13 minutes. And the Odd Man Out episodes are usually like that. Like the range is like 10 to 13 minutes. And as you can see, round 1 was 10 minutes. Round 2 is 8 minutes. That's already 18, just in 2 rounds, 18 minutes. So you have to understand, they cut out a lot. Oh, one thing that I forgot to say, thank God I remembered. For round 1, everybody answered about how they got into BTS, and they only showed like 3 people answering. I got into their lyrics, how they talk about personal struggles and the youth, like real life struggles. I got into how I actually got into them in 2015 with the dope MV, how I just fell in love with them. I needed to learn more, the visuals, the choreography, the personalities. I went in on that. But one thing that I noticed is that they only have a certain amount of time that they can actually use, and they have to use ones that will give the viewer an idea of who they're gonna vote for. Do you know what I mean? So this episode we voted out Alan, so obviously they had to show his answer and his answers for the majority so that the viewer knows, okay, I can see why they voted him out. You know what I mean? But they didn't show all of us answering the question. So I actually can't say I think I remember every question that was asked. Like, everybody answered that question, but they can only show so much. But okay, let's go round 2.
I mean, I was able to get some indication with the last 2 seconds of the game.
Okay.
So if I go Tony Montana,
See, like Tae knew what's up.
I know what you mean by that.
exactly, that's where my
I knew.
delineation of, all right, now my fear is he might be a baby army, or again,
I fully admitted to
that's my fear.
like joining us in February.
You gotta know Lachimolala, Tony Montana. These are just inside jokes every army knows.
I had no idea. Sorry,
Mika was super cool too. Everybody was super cool. The whole cast.
I know most of the YouTube videos, which is why I'm actually confused as to why I don't know that. But, I mean, if I have to whip it out, I will. I literally have a tattoo of my bias on my ankle.
Please show us.
You're joking. Me. And my best friend has one of Jay in the same place for James.
Can that be for V or can that be for something else? I don't know. That could be like a janky Nike swish. That could be a whole lot of things. I don't know.
That got me with Darla the night janky Nike switch. I was like, yo, she came for her. But yeah, Bryana has an actual tattoo that says V. When we all saw it, I also was like, And I actually said it. They didn't show it, but in my solo interview, I was like, that was also one thing that was like a red flag. I was like, she could have done that like on the way over here, because it's quite simple. It's the letter V in black ink, and it's not like huge or anything like that. I don't even think you could see it like in the video. Maybe you could. I personally, I was like, oh, they didn't really zoom in that much, but it's a V, and I personally thought it was like she probably did this on the way coming over here. I was like, so that was already like a red flag for me.
So you said you got into it since February
Okay.
this year.
Yes.
What albums have you listened to?
I mean, pretty much all of them. I'd say my favorite one is probably Speak Yourself, because that's like what got me into them.
They don't have an album that's named Speak Yourself. It's Love Yourself. So you love this.
Woo! That became a meme. The day this came out, which was Sunday. By the way, this was on Brianna's birthday, so happy, even though I've already told her happy birthday, but still, happy birthday, Bryana. This became a meme. That like clip, everybody was like, this looks like from an episode of The Office. The way that people edited this, or like, y'all need to give them a raise to the editors and stuff. I was cracking up. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know they were gonna use it that way. I remember saying that in my solo interview, because they asked me like, what did you start thinking about Bryana, and like, why did you guys start asking her? And I was like, well, it was suspicious because of like the tattoo, and then when she said Speak Yourself, I was like, they don't have an album called Speak Yourself. And a lot of people were like, let me correct you, Jose, they do have an album named Speak Yourself. I'm like, nope, no they don't, just to let you guys know. They have albums with Love Yourself, and then they have the Japanese album Face Yourself. Speak Yourself is the name of their extended tour. Love Yourself, Speak Yourself. So there goes that. But the way they edited this, and people were like, ooh, Jose came for her neck. He wasn't letting her breathe. I was like, yo, it's just the way that they edited this. Like, when she answered that, everybody was like, okay. Because my idea was like, I'm just going to catch on to things, but I'm not going to be like, no, that's not, you know what I mean? But I mean, it does come off that way, I guess, the way they edited this. But there's no hate at all. There was like no shade or anything like that. Like, it was like cool. Like, Bryana was super cool about it. Everybody was super. I was just, everything there was, I was like, okay, I'm catching on to things. So that's why we kept it moving. But yeah.
An album, this past album. What B-side do you like from that album?
Oh my God, B-side? Are you...
Like, that's not
Like
the
not the
title
title
track.
track. Like not Boy Love.
Oh, okay. Home. Home's my favorite.
I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, so there, a lot of people were like, but you were still wrong, Jose, because Love Yourself wasn't their recent album, and you just said you liked their recent album. And to Bryana, and I was like, well, that's because they cut it out. But Rihanna says like that she was a really big fan of this latest album, so that's why I said you really love this most recent album. I wasn't talking about Love Yourself. I just didn't say Map of the Soul Persona, but I knew that's what she was talking about. That's why when she said Home, I nodded, and when she said Home, I was like, okay, that's. I mean, a true army would know Home, but again, a hater would too, because haters know a lot. But I was just like, okay, cool. Okay. She's a Home enthusiast, so I'm gonna give her that one. That's why I nodded my head and stuff.
Wasn't a huge fan of the last album.
I wasn't either, but I like Boy With Love.
I thought I wasn't, and then I gave another listen over. I was like, what am I talking about?
It was all you. And started asking me, and I was all,
Sorry,
like,
Bryana.
I literally forgot everything. Like, you don't... We want to get anybody who has any type of suspect feeling out. Because I trust my gut.
I just seriously thought that there's no way this dude could be a BTS fan.
Y'all made me expose my tattoo just to call me fake. That's so messed up.
Sorry.
So you said you were borderline.
Oof. I was going in, y'all. I was like, okay. I was like, so. As soon as like the game started, I was like, Alan, okay. And then I already had my suspicions about Bryana. And then I was like, okay, my next one that I'm going to start asking is Trinity. I was like, those three are the ones that I'm like mostly like thinking that they are the most.
Why?
Because I just started in like 2017, and I guess because my like obsessive K-pop phase is behind me. Because I started getting into K-pop in like 2010.
I feel like when you are in the army, you are proud to represent, so you don't just say, I'm iffy about it.
By the way, hey, my name is Mika. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, what? Well, actually, a lot of people tagged me and were like, I didn't know you changed your name, Jose. I was like, what are you talking about? I hadn't even seen the corner where the name is at. But hey, y'all, my name is Mika. No, I'm just kidding. I understand. Jubilee probably like we're like busy or whatever. But yeah, my name is Jose, not Mika. But yeah, as soon as she was like well, she said that the first round. And I was like, okay, And then when she elaborated more on it, saying like, well, I got into K-pop in 2010. And then she was like, I started in 2017. That was 2 years ago. I was like, I mean, in 2 years, you're still borderline. I mean, I feel like you would have made up your mind already. So that was my reasoning. I said all this in my solo interview. So they only included the part where I'm like, well, which I'm happy they did, because I truly feel that way, that like when you're a fan in ARMY, you're proud to represent. And if for some reason, like if somebody asks you and you say like, no, you're not, then I mean, you have your reasons for it, but I feel like if you truly are, you are proud. But yeah,
I was knee deep in the YouTube world, and I was so obsessed with BTS. So I decided to apply to the airport because I knew that they fly through the airport.
To work at the airport?
Yeah. I actually got a job at LAX just to see BTS. I know. Tragic.
How did you do that?
now that they cut out when she actually says that like she was, I mean, she kind of like said it, she said tragic, so she admits that that was like, not a good thing. But Darla actually, like, they cut it out, but after like when she said that about that getting a job at LAX just to see them, she says that like she regrets doing that, like that wasn't good, like that's not cool. But they cut it out, and I feel bad for that, because some people did come for her, but I'm glad she did tweet out saying like, I grew from that, I have another job, I'm no longer there. And this makes you feel like she still works there, but she doesn't. She has a new job, she's no longer there, and she admits that it's wrong, not cool. So hopefully the word gets out and less people come for her, because she regrets it, and she admits that it was a wrong decision on her part.
Feel about the Be Free commentary.
Oof,
Years ago.
this got deep, y'all.
He calls them girls and
Yeah,
calls them.
that whole thing with the rap community and
I
attacking
mean, let's be
them.
honest. For the most part, even the Korean hip hop community, or especially the idol community, it's countries you'll ever meet in the world.
Oh, yeah, true.
Let's be honest. I mean, but at the same time, you have to understand.
True.
It's a country of like it's a homogenous country.
The question I asked, it was like deflected. So I was like, okay.
Now this is where Mika and Tae started. Like it was like them
Cultural appropriation
suspecting
is one
each
thing,
other.
but it's more so how like the rap community made them feel like other. That's why.
Yeah, because again, they're super.
Look at me, I'm just like.
What they think hip hop is.
I feel like when they first started out, there was just this like adamant like I want to be this alpha male. I want to be this. Like it wasn't
It's almost like that anger.
authentic. You know, that was back when he had the perm. But we're not gonna speak about that.
he doesn't want to speak about this. Let's just.
Like the glow up was it's just been immaculate with them.
Yeah.
She was so vocal in the first 2 rounds, but then in the 3rd round when we were getting really deep, she was crickets.
Yep, crickets.
Tay seemed to know a little bit too much, too many like official things, textbook kind of things.
So yeah, like I said, once she elaborated more on the reason why she said borderline, and she was a borderline fan, army, that was it for me. I was like, okay, I'm voting for Trinity. Those were the 3, Alan, Bryana, and Trinity, that I had like my suspicions about. And I was like, once I get Trinity out, I'm good. So yeah. Oh, and sorry. Now about the whole be free comment, the only thing as you can see, I didn't speak at all. Well, what they showed, I didn't speak at all, but I just said that I did hear about it and that I didn't like the comments that he said. And that like, even though he did apologize, it was a bit too late, but that's it. Like I didn't go more into it like Tae, Mika, and Darla when like she jumped into, I was all, you know what, I feel like they should go at it. I was like, if I, take a back seat on this one, I'm good. Let me just say that I did hear about it. I didn't like what he said, and that I appreciate the apology. I just feel like it was too late. That's all I said. They didn't show it. I was like, okay, that's fine with me. But yeah, Trinity got voted out. I feel like the same reason that I thought, because she didn't speak much after that, but because of the whole elaboration of saying like she's borderline, that was it for me.
Your hand if you have any doubts that the ball might still be in the square and you'd like to continue the game.
I feel like they're gone. I feel like they're good.
Yeah, because I have one doubt.
I have one doubt.
Yeah.
It's like
One of you two has to decide if you guys have any doubt, we continue the game.
Let's continue.
Okay, so here they edited. Great job to the editors. I believe Bonnie and I think Bonnie did. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But great job to the editors, because that part that you see where we're like deciding if we should continue or not, that lasted a while. They only showed like a little bit of it, but that was like minutes long where we couldn't decide if we should continue or not. Mika and Tae were saying we should continue. Me and Darla, we were like, I think we're good. I was like, like me and her, we were like connecting. We were like, I think we got the ones that we were like suspicious about. But Mika and Tae were not. They were like, we need to keep going. Like I have a doubt. She has a doubt. I mean, he has a doubt. She has a doubt. I was like, but I think we're good, guys. Like, I think we're good. This lasted a while. And they just narrowed it down to where they finally asked us, like, okay, one of you has to decide if we keep going or not. Or I guess, like, give in a sense of, like, me or Darla, we would have to say, okay, fine, let's keep going. Because Mika and Tae were not backing down. They were like, we need to continue. So that's when Darla was like, okay, let's continue. And I'm like, okay, fine. Y'all want to continue. But I feel like we're good.
Let's do it.
That's why I didn't, like, vote.
Realizing you could still be a K-pop fan, but not be a BTS fan. Okay, what's your doubt?
My doubt was Mika, to be honest.
my doubt is you.
Because you had no
And
idea.
that solidified it for me. I was like, I knew it. I knew they were doubtful of each other.
Like a multi that doesn't multi BTS at all. But
I
like
feel
she
like you were
just
saying a
knows
lot of
about it.
textbook things.
Textbook.
Especially when we started getting into the Be Free thing, you immediately started about cultural appropriation. Like, okay, that's kind of not on topic, because that's something that's evident in all of K-pop. Like, that's another conversation. We could talk about that
What's
later.
your favorite V-Live episode?
Trying to think back to when he did the album review. Crap. See,
Okay,
brain fart.
what's your favorite Run BTS episode?
If
you
you
have
if I have one,
Army Bomb.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
Okay, so people went in on me and Darla saying like, why? Well, because Mika asked too. Why we asked Tae like, can you name your favorite? And I don't know if you noticed, because I don't know if it's hard to hear, but I actually say if you have one. So I didn't just like, was like, you need to tell me. I was just like, if you have one, what is your favorite Run BTS episode? And if he doesn't, he could have just said, I don't have one. Or I haven't seen all of them or whatever it may be. But because he was thinking about it and taking a while, we were like, okay, he's going to give us an answer. Well, that's I think the natural human reaction is like, okay, he's thinking about it. So he's going to answer it. So the fact that he just couldn't say anything. I mean, he did say the sauna one, I believe. Yeah. But it took him a while. That made us like suspicious. By the way, a lot of people were like, Tae is like a famous army on Twitter. I don't know why y'all voted him out and all this other stuff. And I'm like, hey, I knew nobody from this episode. Tae knew me, but I didn't know Tae. So I was in this blind. Like I said, I didn't know anyone.
I've seen every Army Bomb, but my favorite.
Oh, and then that too. Everybody said Army Bomb instead of Bangtan Bomb.
I don't remember that. A lot of our fans.
I think we were just all
knows and loves
nervous
these
still.
videos. We talk about them all the time, and he was like, I was like, okay, there's so many, just choose one. Like, one was when they went to Six Flags in Texas, and Kobe was on.
Yeah, I was like on the same page as Darla. I was like, okay, you might not have a favorite. You can say that. I don't have a favorite, but I really like this one or something like that. Because in round 2, I believe we talked about like when it's one of our favorite songs. Like I said, there were so many questions that they left out. And let me just play it and then I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Roller coaster, I don't remember. The other one was when they got scared and they were supposed to go to the zoo, but then they ended up getting scared by zombies.
The zombie episode. Okay. So Tae got voted out and people were like, why did he get voted out? He had so many inside jokes, army inside jokes. And it's like, why? And all of y'all voted for him because of his age. One, I didn't vote for him because of his age. Like I said previously, I even stated that I would be an army at any age, but didn't show that. Other thing, I don't judge based on age or anything, gender, race, where you're coming from, nothing like that. You can be an army. Because like I said, myself, I'm getting up there age-wise. So I didn't vote for him because of that. I simply voted for him because I was forced to vote for somebody. Like I told you, we were minutes long debating if we should continue the game or not. I was telling Darla, like, we're good. Everybody. Darla was saying we're good too. So I was good. Once Trinity got out, I was like, we're good, y'all. We are good. Like, we are good. But they wanted to keep going. That's why when Tae was eliminated, you see him walking. I told him, sorry, man. Like, I just had to vote for somebody. I just had to. And a lot of people might say, well, why didn't you vote for Mika and not Tae? Well, because I bonded with Mika too. And that's the thing. They don't show everything. So let me go back to what I was saying about favorite songs. That was a question that was asked. Like, do you have a favorite song? Another question was, what's the song that like picks you up when you're having a like sad day or a bad day or just down day, whatever, like, or you just want to like party or whatever. Like there was a lot of questions that were not included in this. And me and Bika were going back and forth on older songs, like from Dark and Wild. Like we were going back. So that's why I was like, I know Mika is a fan. I know Mika's an army. Because she was like, let me know. I was like, tomorrow. And then we were going into like, so what? Like some of their newer stuff. Anpanma. We like, so they didn't show it. But I also was like, I know I'm going to have to vote for one. And I even said it in my solo interview. They didn't show it. I was like, Tae, I know you were not the mole, but I was forced to vote for someone. I needed to vote for somebody, so I'm sorry, but I know you were not the mole. So I kept saying it, they didn't include it, but just to let y'all know, that is my take on it. I did not vote for him because of his age or because he couldn't give me a Run BTS episode or anything like that. I had to vote for somebody. See? I just sorry.
This game is so hard, you don't know who the mole is. It could be anyone. And the only person you can be 100% sure of is yourself, whether you're the mole or army. That's all you can be.
That's true. I was so nervous. I was like, please, 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 please.
My Lord Jimin, please come down on us.
Darla. I knew it. I knew it.
I'm happy that we won.
I'm so happy. Like, there's no other way. We know who's not army. Like, we can sense it. We can feel it in our bones.
Trinity. So that actually also took time when they were saying if the mole wants to reveal themselves, you can do it. And nobody Trinity, we didn't know it was Trinity because because once you get eliminated, you're like, you can either stay inside the recording, so you just have to be silent, or you have to go out. Everybody decided to stay in, so they just sat behind all the production, the crew, the cameras and everything. So that's why we were looking over there. If you see, we were looking over there because everybody else that we had eliminated was there. So we were looking over there and nobody was standing up. Nobody was like, I'm the mole. Everybody was looking at each other like, like that. So when it finally, they edited it down to make it seem like it was right away, but that took a while too. Nobody wanted to stand up. Trinity didn't want to say, hey, I'm the mole. But then she finally said it. But see, I knew it. I was like, Alan, Bryana, and Trinity, I'm good. Those were the three that I had my suspicious about. I was on the same page as Tae. I was like, we do need to get baby armies out. Even though they are armies and they are fans, I was like, you just have to pick up on stuff. You just have to even little stuff. You're trying to get the mole out. So yeah, but I'm happy we won, and I'm happy we were the first ever for this series.
BTS fan. I'm an EXO fan.
The one thing that I wasn't surprised about was that she is an EXO fan. Who's your group?
And
I knew it was gonna be EXO.
Mika. As you can see, everybody was hugging each other because we bonded, y'all. We were so cool with each other.
My fandom's definitely pretty vicious towards each other.
And Bryana was like, "What's up, y'all?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Bryana. I just had to vote for."
We were no different. We just like different groups, and it's dumb to fight over something as trivial as that.
So true.
BTS fans come in all different shapes and sizes and ages and genders and races. It's just a beautiful fandom.
Trinity, I got your back, girl. If anyone wants to fight, you gotta talk to me first, okay?
Oh, and I love what Tae said.
Let's just keep supporting the boys. I believe their message is worth getting out to the world. One day, if everyone could be army, it'd be a better world.
사랑해. First time in Odd Men Out history.
First time.
You did it, BTS Army. Do not hate on the mole. Try not to.
Don't hate. Meditate.
Oh yeah,
Because this episode is.
Other stuff that was left out, we talked about how BTS are on a whole other level, how long they've come, from where they were to now being the biggest boy band in the world. Like I'm telling you, we went in depth about their music, and they didn't choose to include it. I understand, and you guys have to understand that as well. Watching these videos, you have to understand that the rounds are long, but the video itself is so small that they have to cut out so much stuff. And like I said, everybody answered every question. They cut out to people to show certain people, and that's also understandable because they have to edit it to where the viewer can see, okay, this is why they voted that person out, because of their answers. And of course, they're gonna show the people that answered or talked more for that round if they're gonna get voted out. But yeah, it was super fun. Everybody was super cool. Everybody hugged each other at the end. We all left the recording that area once they told us they were done, and they were gonna call us in one by one to do our solo interviews. And we bonded out there. We were talking about like what other music we listened to, like what we work in, or like where are you from, and like started sharing each other's like social media accounts. We even have a group chat. Everybody talks to each other. Everybody's so cool. Everybody was so nice. The production was nice. The cast. So I had a blast. It was super fun. One thing that I didn't tell anybody there, and I'm gonna share it here. We actually filmed this on my birthday, July 26th. And it's so cool because we filmed this on my birthday and they released it on Bryana's birthday. So it holds a meaning for all of us. And the fact that like we have like the meme that made like the segment that was like turned into a meme on Twitter, it's even cooler. But by the way, everybody was super cool. So don't hate any cast member. They were so amazing. By the way, Bryana is gonna have a show. I mean, she has one, but it's gonna premiere in September on Netflix. Like, I found this out later. I was like, oh, yo, I should have asked for an autograph. Like, we got a whole celebrity here. She was on The Voice. She's been on Disney Channel, and she's gonna have a Netflix show. So I was like, but yeah. Sorry, Alan. Sorry, Bryana. And sorry, Tae, for voting you out. But as you know, it's the game. It's the name of the game. And Trinity's, you lasted 3 rounds, so she did pretty good, y'all. Everybody's super cool. Everybody, I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to watch this again, the video. And thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for letting me know, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known and I would have taken part in this. And I'm so happy that the cast was so diverse. They did their research in trying to get as many different types of people, because like Darla said, the BTS fandom is a beautiful fandom made up of so many different types of people from many backgrounds. It was so fun, and I'm happy that Jubilee did it. Thank you, Jubilee. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. Reach out if you want me to participate in anything else. But yeah, it was so much fun. And I even shared this. I donated my part of the winnings to BTS's and UNICEF's Love Myself campaign. Somebody actually asked for proof. I can't believe it. Like donating like charity and stuff, that's not something that you like flaunt. Somebody asked me what I did with the money, and that's why I answered, but that's not something you're flaunting about. Like, hey, here, I just want you to know that you don't do that. BTS themselves have donated and done charity, and they themselves don't do it. News reports come out saying it, and that's how we found out. Because that's not something that you like gloat about. You just don't. You just do it out of the kindness of your heart. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, y'all. Army, we were the first ones. We stay breaking records. #1. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, adios.